Welcome back, people. We got another video on the Samebike L026 version 2, other words known as the L026 2. So this is an electric e-bike. We've done some upgrades. We've upgraded the pedals, we've sorted out the squeak on there, and we've done a speed hack, and we've put some new awesome Rock Bro lights on there now. All of these videos we do have on the channel. We have a playlist of e-bikes and electric scooters. You could always check those out for anyone who's interested. Haven't yet managed to change the tyres. Really want to badly because they're just not very good. But I'm going to keep using them for now. And of course I want to change the inner tubes as well. I want to get some Contis on there, some Continentals. But all of these videos, we're going to make videos of changing the tires and all that good stuff at some point, and I'm going to show you how I do my things. But today we're upgrading the brakes, which I'm very excited about, and as well as us putting these on today, I am going to be again making a video of riding this outside, off-road, on-road, uphill, downhill, and this is where we can test these awesome brakes. I did have these before on the Samebike L026, so I thought, why not? Let's get them for the L026 version 2. I could have brought hydraulic brakes, full hydraulic brakes, with the electric cable, but they do go into the hundreds of pounds, very expensive. These, on the other hand, cost me £32. And I've had them before, and I know they're good. They're definitely better than the brakes already from stock from the bike. Yeah, 100%. These are, I definitely would say they're 100% better. So I'm going to put these on today. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. And I will also leave a link for these X-Tech brakes, hydraulic. So you get full hydraulic brakes. These ones are classed as semi-hydraulic brakes, which is obviously, there's the oil part here. Anyway, there's enough talking. Let's get down to business and let's check out our new, what it's going to look like, our new brakes on there. So the brakes have done me good since I've had the stock brakes, if I'm honest. They are good. They do work. They do make me stop. But in an emergency, it definitely does take a short minute to slow down on these. And that does make me a little bit nervous because, of course, I am one of those people that like to ride fast. Hence, that's why I've got the speed hack. If you're enjoying all these videos on the same bike that we've been making, don't forget to drop a like as well. And of course, leave your comments below. I do try my best to respond to every comment. So let's undo this part here. Wow, that was actually quite loose. That's never a good thing. See, we want to avoid trying to touch the disc brake as much as possible, because if we touch that, we're going to end up with some horrible noises on our brakes. I'm so glad that I'm actually taking these off, because I know the other ones are so much better, but wow, they were actually insanely loose. There is some blue thread lock on there though, so that's not bad. I think I have forgotten something straight away, because I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that clip off of there. I'm going to try it. Okay, no I did. So the little pin, we'll put that on after. Okay, so our new brakes comes with this. So we pull this part out, and we have made a video before on showing how to replace these brake pads, but again, I probably will make one further in the future, so keep an eye out for that. Let's position our brakes on there, and then we're going to put our screws in there and tighten that up. Now, you could always use your original screws, but for this one, because there's clean new thread lock on there, as you can see, look at the brakes, made my hands real dirty. So we're going to put these ones on because they got the blue thread lock. Now you can buy blue thread lock, and I definitely will recommend having blue thread lock on your brakes, because your brakes is quite an important thing, if I'm honest. So yeah, blue thread lock. If you haven't got any, do buy some, or use the original bolt that came with these new brakes. Okay, so first off, we're just going to tighten that up. I'm not going to do it majorly tight for now, just get everything in position, and then we'll tighten it all up after. There's enough gap there, that's okay. Alright, and then the cable, let's put that back through there for our new one. that sits in there, perfect. All right, and now I am gonna tighten these up. I really have been enjoying riding this bike, and we've got lots of different videos on different electric scooters and different electric bikes, but by far the Samebike L026 has always been my favorite. Just, I love it. It's a great, yeah, absolutely great bike. Okay, so for our brake to run smoothly without it rubbing, we need to make sure we can look inside here. We've got to position it so the pad is not actually touching the disc. And then when we get it to there, we then tighten up this bolt here. So that kind of looks like where I want it to be. Can I turn it like this? Okay, can a little bit. It's a little bit stiff though at the same time. So that's got blue, that's got blue thread lock on it as well. Okay, I need it to stay in that position. So I'm just making sure, as I'm tightening up this bolt here, just making sure that the pad is not touching the disc, or at least not pushed right against it. We need it kind of in the middle. Okay, so that's where it's starting to tighten up now. So I'm not going to do this part insanely tight because I've got to do the bottom one. Adjust the camera angle there a little bit so you can hopefully see what I'm doing. Now these pads might rub a little bit. There is a chance, because of course they are new brake pads and they are very, very close to that disc. It does actually look like in there, it does look like that it is actually touching. So there's a possible chance it could rub slightly, but if it rubs too much, then we can adjust it, of course. But before I do it up really tight, I'm going to spin the back wheel first, just to make sure. Okay, let's spin it. Okay, I can hear it rubbing very, very slightly, but the wheel's still spinning freely, so that's probably okay if I'm honest like that. I think I have a tiny little bit more gap this way, so I'm going to see if I can try and just adjust ever so slightly. This is where a pair of pliers are good, because then you can turn the bolts that little bit quicker. So another way to do it, obviously, as well as trying to line it up, another option is you can spin the wheel and hold the brake caliper like so. It doesn't matter how it looks in there, you can just spin the wheel until you do not hear any rub at all. Like there, I don't hear any rub. Oh, I think I've moved it. Yeah, I did. Okay, so about there. So there I do not hear any rub. I'm not even looking inside where the brake pads are. I'm not looking down in here. I'm just spinning the wheel. I don't hear any rub. So I'm going to tighten that bolt up. Spin the wheel again. Don't hear any rub. Okay, so now that's where I want it to be. So now it's just a matter of tightening them up. I'm going to try and tighten them up evenly. Spin again a little bit. Okay, no rub at all. So we've now got it perfect. Now just a matter of giving them a good tighten evenly. Okay, this is the final tighten there. That's all right. Then this bottom one. So they are X-Tech hydraulic zoom brakes, or semi-hydraulic. So all you can hear is the clicking now. There's no rub there at all. That's the way we want it to be. So we're going to unscrew this. Actually no, at the back it's up the front, sorry. Up on the brake lever. I've got it adjusted out a little bit, so I don't need to adjust that. I will show you what I mean. So let's unscrew that. Now if we come up here to the top, we can adjust our brake by this part here. I can screw this, the further this screws out, the more it's going to tighten the cable. If I turn this and then screw that in, it's going to give me more length on the cable. So I've left mine out a little bit because on here it is going to rub slightly when I tighten up this cable, but then I'll have that bit of room that I can shuffle it back out from the top. So that's the plan. So we can push that hydraulic brake in there, hold it, hold on. So let's show you. So I'm pushing that up, holding that pushed up. Then we quickly tighten that down. Okay, I've not done it really tight, I just want to hear the wheel. Tiny bit of rub there, but hardly anything, so because of that I'm gonna make that tighter. So let's loosen it back off again. Now pushing that folding arm up quite a bit, pulled the cable, keeping it pushed up. Okay, let's quickly spin the wheel. Okay, not enough again, so I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to screw this all the way in because I don't need that extra length there by the looks of it. Okay, that's screwed all the way in. And then if we come back down here, sorry about that, undo that. Now we'll have more stretch from the cable. Try and get the, really am trying to get the camera angles right. So there we go. Let's push that in there. So that's all I've done is just push my thumb up harder on that folding arm. Not doing it really tight. Okay, no rub. Let me tighten that just a little bit more. I'm not going to go insanely tight just yet. Just want to now pull the brake lever. Okay, the brake lever, I'm pulling a tiny bit, which is perfect. That's the way I like my brakes. Do this nice and tight. So on the folding arm here, as you can see, this part here, I've done this bolt up just there. Don't over tighten it because you don't want to round it off, of course. Just make sure it's nice and tight. That little part that goes on the end of the cable, which is there, we put that back on. Now with that, I am gonna need to get a pair of pliers and re-pinch that so it doesn't come off, because I don't want that cable to thread. But that we're gonna do another time. So let's spin the wheel one more time. That's perfect. Now if I pull the brake lever up here, this is how much the brake is being pulled. Not very much at all. Plenty of room between the handlebar and the brake lever. Now if over time I am going to be able to pull that brake lever in even further, when I do I can adjust this by unscrewing it out. And of course down here I can adjust it here and unscrew that out. But the way I've got it set up for now is okay, but when the brake pads wear down, of course I can adjust it. Alright, let's move on. Coming over to the, well, my camera hit the bike. Coming over to the front brake, same thing really. Let's first undo. Wow, that was really loose as well. Come on, Bubbles. I don't know if that's when I did try a little bit of off-roading the other day. I didn't do loads. I did do a bit, but maybe that's that could be why that's so loose, possibly. Alright, so let me take out that cable there and then pull it quite hard. There we go. And then we'll put that cable back in there. There we go, like so. And then this little pin that come off the cable, we'll keep that to one side. And let's take our old brake caliper off. I will have a look at the brake pads in a moment from the front and the back, and we will compare them. I've always used the back brake more, but I want to try and use them evenly. And with these brakes, I don't know why, I just felt like I couldn't use them evenly, whereas if with the other ones, the new ones, I know I can. So again, there is a blue thread lock on here, and that's as stock, that came from the supplier itself. So that's good to see that they use that. Yeah, there's a lot of more I could use on those pads, to be honest. So I'm just going to quickly undo my quick release there for a second, just because that is in a bit of a strange place there. Let's turn it round that way. There we go. Have that pointing upwards like that. Alright, so let's get our new one. I'm only seeing one screw. Do I have... I don't know why we only have one screw with that. Maybe... I don't know if it came like that, if it's missing one, or whether there's one in the pack and it fell out a little bit, possibly. I'm not sure. But anyway, it is what it is. Not much we can do about it. I use that new bolt plus one of the originals from the bike. So we take this part out. Let's line that up. There we go. So let's put in our new bolt with the blue thread lock on there. Yeah, that's a little bit of a pain, to be honest. I would have liked to have used those new bolts just for the fact of using that new blue thread lock, but it is what it is. Some of these bolts you can turn like this. Grip a pair of pliers on there though, definitely makes it easier. This one we can go like that for a minute though, because it's the front fork, so it's not in the way. Okay, there you go. So there's that one. Yeah, I can't see any other bolt around that I dropped one anywhere, so I'm going to use an original bolt that came off anyway. I really cannot see. I'm trying to keep the camera in angle, but because I'm doing that, I can't see it myself. There we go. What bolt was it? There you go, that one. That one looks like it's got a bit more blue thread lock on it compared to the other one. Alright, there we go. So these first two bolts that actually go onto the front fork or the rear, these, you can always tighten these up straight away. These ones are just what's holding it onto the bike itself. So these ones, we can just go like this. There we go, it's nice and tight. And then we've got to put our cable through here. There we go, like so. So I do have a little bit of room up on this top one. I'm going to unscrew that a little bit, and then screw it in, just like I did for the back one. So screw that all the way in, so that's screwed in. And then for the front, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to spin this front wheel because I do not have anyone here to assist. But it's what we could do is maybe if I could try and set the bike on something. So this might be a good idea. Give me a second. Let's lift the bike up. Set the bike. Hold on. There we go. So I've got my bench. Got my bench out. My gym bench. Right, so I can hear it straight away. Wow, these pads seem like they have more on them. Just trying to adjust it for a moment to the point where I'm not hearing as much rub. Maybe there. Okay, there looks okay. Looks like my disc could be a little bit bent there. Turn the camera, sorry about that. Okay, so I think that's where I want it to be. Let's see. Okay, so you can hear this. This is not that what we don't want that. Let me undo the top one a little bit. Oh, there you go. That stops that noise. No. So I'm pulling the caliper towards me from the top. Spinning it. Okay. So we can hear it rubbing a little bit. Now I know when I get out and I ride this and I use the brake pads a little bit, that is definitely going to help. But I'd like to try and make it as close to perfect as I can here. Then that way I don't have to rely on it being worn down. Okay, spin. So you can hear that. Oh, I caught my finger there. I'd be lying if that did not hurt. Oh wow, yeah, caught in a nasty place. Okay, I'm gonna have to undo that top one again because that is just not happy with that. Sometimes I can do these perfect first time, Other times it can take a little minute, as you can see. But patience is definitely needed here. Okay, so there. The second I tighten that up, we do have some rub. There we go, that got it right there. Okay, so let's tighten that up now. There we go, it's perfect. You see, sometimes it can take a little minute to try and get it right, but as I said, when you're out riding, if you have got a little bit of rub, don't worry about it, because when you're out riding and you start using those brakes, they will wear down and then you won't have that sound. But I like to have it perfect from the off if I can. I don't always get it perfect, but this time it's perfect. Okay, now our last part. Cool, that's really taken a toll, that. It's always those little cuts that give you that little bit more of a pain, isn't it? Alright, I'm going to just completely unscrew that. There we go. Alright, so for this one, we're going to just tighten it up, see if we hear any rubbing. And if we don't, and then we'll leave it. If we do, we'll adjust it. So not really tight to start off with, just like that. So I can hear there is a bit of rubbing there. So because this is going to be different, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to unscrew that. So we're going to come up here to the front of the bike, and I'm going to screw this outwards, so that way I can screw it back in to get rid of the rub. Okay, just like that. Come back down here, trying not to get blood on my wall or bike. So we push that up from the bottom. Got it pushed quite tight there. Okay, let's spin. Yep, definitely rub, but we're going to remove that rub, so don't worry about that. Okay, we'll tighten that up in a sec, but let's get rid of that rubbing sound. So give it a good spin. Come up here, twist that in. Tiny bit of rub. Let's take it in a bit more. There we go. Alright, so now that's set like that. If I pull that brake, it comes in about the same as it does on the back brake. Still more than 2 fingers of gap between the brake lever and the handlebar. That's the way I like it. So again, with this, after you're riding over time, the brake pads are going to wear down a little bit, and when they do, you can adjust it from that top part that you just saw, or here you can screw this that way, which is anti-clockwise, and you can see this arm is moving up. Now if I do that, you're going to hear rubbing again now. You hear that? So to adjust the rubbing, you can screw it downwards, but as well as that, of course, you can turn it the other way to make the brake pad make the brakes work that little bit better. I can hear there's such a slight there, but I think that is because my front disc brake seems like it has a little bit of a bend there. I can just about hear it, but I'm happy with that. It spins freely, it's not rubbing crazy. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this one. I do try to respond to every comment, so do leave it in the comment section below. That's actually a really good way to keep my bike up. So yeah, respond in the comment section, write whatever you need to know, and I'll comment back. Drop a like, keep an eye out for the next one. We're definitely going to be taking this out on the road and checking out these brakes, so keep an eye out for that coming very soon. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. We'll catch you people again soon for some more fun and games. I am out.